right now, right here, right now, I'm about to watch football on my TV, real NFL football, people getting paid to play NFL football. I'm watching it right now, and I'm going to be paying close attention to the tight ends because tonight we are fading tight ends and we are flag planting tight ends, and you're going to stick around for it. Producer, hit that button. Welcome to another edition of the Dynasty Pulse right here on the Fantasy Sports Advice Network. I am Bigz. Grindberg is here. We got Chev Daddy in the bottom, and Dane, a.k.a. FF Maddog, is here too. We're about to watch, who is it? Is this going to be Carson Beck against, I don't know. Anyway, we're about to watch football, like real, actual pads on football, guys hitting each other, and I'm kind of excited about it. But that's not why we're here tonight. The four of us are getting ready to embark on a 3-hour marathon of our shows, knock out a bunch, and then fall asleep right after. How are you guys doing?
I'm ready to see some big meaty men slapping meat.
There it is, the meat slaps. What's going on, Maddog? How are you, dude?
What's up, guys? Football is back. Days off, and like Big said, we get to do a podathon here, so I'm ready to rock.
All right, we got to preserve our energy, our voices, because this is going to be a great night of potting, and we're ready to talk a little bit about our tight ends here, and we're
lube it up, boys.
Lube it up. We're ready to go. I mean, we had a esteemed guest last week, Ian Harditz. He came on and talked to running backs. It was a great show, and today we're talking tight ends. So we're going to do some fading. We're going to do some breakouts, and it's all about tight ends this week. So before we get into it, quick shout out to our sponsor, Fantasy Spin. If you want a different kind of daily fantasy experience, Fantasy Spin lets you spin your lineup, make your picks, and compete in tournaments based on real player performances. Use promo code PULSE, deposit $10, and play one tournament, and you get $30 in bonus play. So now we're looking at the fades, boys, and we are hunting for players whose current price tags feel too rich based on their age, supporting cast, offensive environment, and market overreactions. So we're going to get started. I guess I'm going to get started with my first fade, and this one is just based off of some feels here, some age, and, you know, I think Dak's going to be on a down year this year. It seems like it goes up and down. So Bigz talked about it on one of our shows last week. And Jake Ferguson, tight end 12 in Dynasty right now. That price tag is hitting the sell button faster than the Cowboys fans hit the panic button after a September loss. And the Cowboys, the tight end, he's delivered over the last little while, especially in 2025. It looked shiny on the surface, but under the hood, the red flags wave harder than the white towel at Jerry World. At 27, Ferguson is no spring chicken in this position, and youth and upside still command premium value. And then when you look at the elite weapons we had, CeeDee Lamb take a little bit of time off last year due to injury. And I'm looking at guys like Eli Sowers, who I like ahead of him. Even guys like Isaiah Likely, Dalton, Kincaid, all these guys bring more value to me in the range where he's at. You know, he does obviously tread the waters just fine. 82 receptions, 600 yards, 8 touchdowns on 102, targets. I think that target share is going to come way down this year with, both George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb healthy and active. And we're expecting a little bit of a down year from Dak based off of up and down years. I mean, obviously, we can't ignore that elephant in the room. So, yeah, that's my fade, Ferguson. I'm not sure you guys are going to disagree with me too much here.
No, I have a bunch of shares of Ferguson, like in most of the charity leagues and stuff like that. But that's because I'm taking him as like my tight end 3, tight end 4. So I'm expecting the Dak turn down year. I mean, you can see it in the 4 years that Ferguson has been on the Cowboys. He did have an injury in 2024, which kind of held him back, but so did Dak, and that's one of the reasons. So, yeah, I don't know about a full fade out of the top 12. I can handle that, but I also like what if it doesn't happen? What if Ferguson stays at his 100 target level? That's what we want to see from a tight end. Give him some touchdown upside. He had 8 last year, and yeah, it was he could do it again. But yeah, I see where you're going,
Chev.
I want to be in on this, but unless the actual the titular rebound and regression of Dak Prescott is a real thing, then you got to kind of be into it. Whenever CeeDee Lamb was out, he assumed a decent amount of the target share. Off the top of my head, I don't have that. But if something happens if George Pickens just short circuits or CeeDee Lamb misses time, this is going to be. I mean, he's definitely going to perform. I think that the volume accumulation is just nothing. At a career high. Are you having trouble here?
Yeah, I think we're having trouble hearing you right now, Chev.
What's that about?
Just like cutting in and out. Here, I'm going to pause it. We're good.
All right. So you want me to take it from the top?
Yeah, your point was well taken, but I'd like you to expound on it a little bit.
Okay. So last year, I want to believe in the undular cycle that Dak's been on, the every other year thing. Him and Burrow have been up and down and up and down and up and down. But at some point it's gotta level off, because this is absolutely ridiculous.
It's nuts.
So I would like to support the fade of Jake Ferguson. He got the contract a year or two ago. He got over 100 targets in an offense with CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. The problem is, if both of those guys are healthy, then he takes a far and away back seat. It's a much less effective EPA per play, or a much lower EPA per play, to give Jake Ferguson a target or a reception as opposed to CeeDee Lamb or George Pickens. But if something happens to one of those guys, then he's going to be a top 6 tight end if they miss an extended period of time, where a guy that you feel really good about starting on a week in, week out basis. But we have to assume that all the pieces are healthy right now, because they're all healthy. But at the same time, if they are all healthy, then Jake Ferguson is probably going to finish around tight end 12, unless he spikes double-digit touchdowns. He had a career-high 8 touchdowns last year. That is going to stay the same or go up if Dak is healthy. So I'm really on the fence about this. And I in all the fast drafts and the best ball drafts and stuff, I haven't clicked the button on Jake Ferguson because of all the things that you've alluded to. And I can't say that you're not sharp here, but I just want to believe that Dak's going to put two good years together in a row. And that's why I'm not all the way in. I've got 1 foot in the boat. I don't have 2 feet in the boat.
Get in the boat.
It's certainly a weird situation, right? And we're like, I'm hoping that Dak goes through this year too, fully healthy. I got some shares of him that I need to, cash in on. So yeah, please make that happen. But I'm more banking on CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens staying healthy and just earning more targets, and maybe that dropping back to his 2024 level where he's in the 80 target range. And that doesn't really translate into top 12 fantasy for me when you're not hitting that. And if you're not going to get that 10 touchdown range, I mean, that probably could happen because of the scoring. So yeah, just a tough one. It's just a fade that I'm having, because I think these guys are priced in pretty good right now for the most part. Like they're in good standing, and when I look at ADP and stuff. So yeah, that's my fade. I'd rather have like a Kincaid, a little bit younger. I think his pieces are less around, there's less competition around him. I like Isaiah Likely's new situation, and even in
you keep coming to the age thing, and I'm looking at a 26-year-old tight end who's going to play in his 27-year-old season, knowing that historically the traditional tight end, which Jake Ferguson is more of that traditional tight end than the new crop of big slots, take a while to get their footing in the NFL and don't really break out until their late 20s. So that's kind of throwing me.
He's a man now. He's a man now, Michael.
And Chev, please to be letting us know if you decide to get that you're going to get into the boat, because if you do, we're going to need a bigger boat.
It's a very good point. That's
Jaws.
a fair point. It's a good point. Yeah, no, that actually popped up during Shark Week last week.
It's a good
But
movie.
I mean,
good film.
Clearly, you guys are getting into a boat with a hole in it. So, all right. So, Chev, your player now.
We're talking about your boat, Mike.
No, my boat's fine. I got lots of floaties
You
in
just
there.
said it has a hole. We're talking about your boat.
No,
and then you just said it has a hole.
You guys are in the boat of Jake Ferguson. All right. Chev, talk to us about Kyle Pitts, and that is Maddog's flag plan from last week. So interesting little talk coming up here.
Well. Look at us. So
begin.
There had to be one. I was gonna go with Colston Loveland, but somebody else put that in the show sheet before I could get to it.
Spoiler alert.
So this is mine, mostly because I don't have any confidence in either one of the quarterbacks. So if it's Tua, he could get shell-shocked very quickly. And I don't know, for whatever reason, it's not about the talent. We know what the talent is. He's 6'6", 250, runs a 4.4. It should be awesome. It should consistently be 88 for 928 and, just an ascending count in the touchdown meter, in the touchdown column every single year as it has been. The problem is Michael Penix acts like he doesn't really know that Kyle Pitts exists. And the fantasy goodness that you got, the historic performance, that came with Kirk Cousins at the helm. And now we do know that Kevin Stefanski does seem to feature the tight end position, and that could be where I have a little bit of egg on my face in this scenario. But I feel like this Atlanta offense outside of Bijan and Drake London is going to be just a crapshoot every single week, and you can get more consistency. I would much rather turn in the direction of a guy like Tucker Kraft. I'd much rather go with Harold Fannin. I'd much rather go with Tyler Warren. I just have been burned by the Kyle Pitts Express that turns into the Kyle Pitts graveyard too many times. And now until they get the quarterback situation solidified and I see what it looks like typed out, and we could be 4 or 5 weeks in the season, he could be rolling. I don't want to click the button on Kyle Pitts. I haven't been clicking the button on Kyle Pitts. We're in a startup, right? We're in a best ball right now, and they had the opportunity to take Kyle Pitts, and I didn't do it. Now the way that he gets there is the volume. 118 targets was second only to Trey McBride last year. I don't know if we double up on that. If we double up on that, I'm going to look like an idiot. But Michael Penix acts like he doesn't know Kyle Pitts exists on a consistent basis. And 2, I don't have any faith in Tua. I think he is now entering into like that, we're inches away from him being left-handed Jake Delhomme here. So I am. If we get the quarterback situation figured out, I'll be all team Kyle Pitts. I'll even go get a Kyle Pitts onesie. I'll get a Kyle Pitts tramp stamp. I'll get KP tattooed above my belly button. I'm all about it because he's a Florida guy and I'm a Florida fan. But as of right now, Tua Tagovailoa, Tua turned the ball over, is one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL, and I don't have any confidence if he starts the season. And again, I'll say it again, Michael Penix, I'm not sure that the do-rag allows him to see Kyle Pitts when he puts it on in conjunction with the helmet. So, Kyle Pitts.
Well, the good thing about a KP tramp stamp is that if anything goes wrong, you can just put the "and" in the middle of it and then Hingle McCringleberry underneath, and it turns into you're a Key and Peele fan. But I'm gonna summon the presence of a former coordinator and say, Bo, hard agree. I do like Kyle Pitts. I'm looking at his his ranking at this point. He's ahead of George Kittle. I'm on board with that. He's ahead of Kenyon Sadiq after this. I love Kenyon Sadiq after this hernia business. I'm kind of on board with that. Eli Sowers, he's got a year to go. But the guys ahead of him, Sam Laporta, Harold Finn, and Tucker Kraft, I'm not taking Pitts above any of them, even though he finished as tight end 2 last year. So, yeah, I mean, I would rather. So there are a couple different ways to fade. Number one, you can take somebody else. That's not how I would be fading Kyle Pitts. Number two, you can draft a different position and then wait a little bit longer to draft your tight end. And that's the way that I would fade Kyle Pitts.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
Oh my God, it's Carson Beck.
Oh no. Oh no, it's Carson Beck.
Somehow Kenny Pickett couldn't move the ball down the field.
Well,
All right,
probably 'cause he
Maddog,
couldn't
you've got a minute here to maybe give your rebuttal if you want to give a shot into or two. I know. I mean, you're probably around the same range as those guys anyway in where you're ranking them. But like, you expressed some interest last week on him.
Yeah, I think Chev did a really good job explaining why he's a fade for him, and that's totally justifiable. Like, I don't think Tua or Durag Ritter can really unlock Kyle Pitts, but yeah, I think, like, what else is there? He is the number 2 pass option for the Atlanta Falcons if you exclude Bijan Robinson. So I guess he would technically be number 3. I think Kevin Stefanski, I talked about his track record of unlocking tight ends. I think he's going to be able to have the ability with Kyle Pitts on that front, but I totally understand the red flags around the quarterbacks and Kyle Pitts' success.
Love it.
Yeah. They don't have Darnell Mooney anymore to be eating up targets. So,
oh man,
all right,
Darnell Mooney was out there doing cardio.
Who's your fade, buddy?
So my fade is going to be Colston Loveland. Now, I need to make very, very clear. I love Colston Loveland. I believe in his talent. I made a Devy trade to go acquire him, giving up some in-season assets to get his future before he left college. But what's staring me in the face is this tight end 3 ranking and ADP, and I am not here for it. I would much rather have Tyler Warren. I would rather wait a little bit and get Tucker Kraft. I would rather bank on Harold Fannin, which I know that you disagree with, Mike. Looking into some of the numbers, in the rookie class alone, he was 3rd in total yards behind Warren and Fannin. He was 2nd in YPR in yards per route run behind Aronde Gadsden, and he was 2nd in success rate behind Gadsden too. So there are options that are out there that are better. And when you start looking at the tight end landscape and some of the guys who are veterans that have been doing it, I would much rather bank on them. One of the things is Ben Johnson's offense likes the tight end position. We had him take over for Cole Kmet for the first time in I don't know how many years. Cole Kmet didn't finish as like the tight end 7 or something like that. Colston Loveland kind of scooped that from him. It's just that the cost is too high for me. If he falls, I'm great with it. If I can pair him like the way that you can in the first round, if you can pair McBride and Bowers together, that's great. If you can pair Loveland and Warren together, that's great. I don't mind that. But as a straight up drafting him as the tight end 3 in a startup, I don't think I'm ready to do that yet. So he's a small fade for me. The other thing is that he doesn't really avoid tackles very much. He doesn't really create a lot of yards after contact for himself. He's a short area guy for the Chicago Bears. He lined up in 42% blocking snaps, which kind of like capped his route running volume. So while there's a lot to love there are a couple of things that really kind of trigger me. And so, yeah, fade.
All right. Maddog, you got anything to say about that?
No, I think if you're not willing to pay the price, that's fine. But I think that Colston Loveland and this Bears offense is going to be ascending. And we look at the players that are ahead of him, of Brock Bowers and Trey McBride, and they're probably some of the most sought after players in dynasty leagues right now. Like, they're almost untouchable depending what your tight end premium settings are. And I think Colston Loveland is only going to move further up the ranks. We saw in the playoffs that he was hyper targeted. He broke records for tight end receptions. I just think that he is going to be the focal point of the offense there.
All right. Yeah. I mean, it's a heavy flow offense, right? They're going to be continuously in the red zone, and I think they're going to be scoring a lot of points. So I think Colston, Chev, what's going on, man?
You tied that in for the Bears really good.
Yeah,
Heavy flow.
red zone, all of the above. We're talking about, Loveland in these kind of opportunities. I'm not fading them to the extent that, Bigz is, but I'm not taking Fannin over him or anything like that. But certainly his price tag is elevated quite a bit.
It's going to be a heavy flow in the red zone, Michael.
Hey, man.
That's what you went with? Okay, hold on. No. I just have one question. Okay?
Yo.
Are we drafting Colston Loveland could two things be true? Could we absolutely be drafting Colston Loveland at his ceiling? And could it also be unequivocally correct to draft him at his ceiling?
I think he's close to his ceiling for sure right now. Like, I'm not sure how.
He's tight end 3.
Yeah.
I have a hard time keeping these alligators down, saying that he's not going to be tight end 3.
Yeah.
I mean, now, but. Anyway, this isn't mine. This isn't my segment. This is Maddog's segment, the comment. So we can just move on. I want to hear what Maddog has to say about Eli Sowers. I apologize. Maddog, I'll text. We can text about it, or guys, we can talk about it. I just, that's quite the conundrum there with old Colston Loveland. Alliteration aside, let's move on.
Love it. That could be a whole show. All right, talk about Sowers.
Okay, so Eli Sowers, he really got me thinking about a path of production in the immediate and in the future. The Eagles have Devontae Smith, they have Makai Lemon, they have Jalen Hurts who runs the ball, they have Saquon Barkley. There are a lot of mouths to feed, and I think all those players are still going to be there next year. We've already heard reports this offseason that Sowers has a lot of work to do in the blocking game. I think we knew that as a prospect already. It's kind of more of a 27 play, but the more news that we hear, it kind of sounds like he's going to be a 0 this year. So where you're going and drafting him at tight end 13, like, I think you can spend your resources better. There's a better click out there than Eli Sowers at this position. Converted QB, lots of questions if he was even going to be a tight end coming into the league, if he's going to have to convert to wide receiver. I just don't know. I just have more questions than answers about Eli Sowers on this Eagles team for 26 in the future.
So you're saying he was propped up by Diego Pavia?
Yeah.
I guess in a roundabout way.
Yes. I think the long-term upside is real, but this year I'm treating him as like a fade in most formats, obviously. I mean, I like Dallas Goedert's situation. He's under contract. He's owned the starting role for years. And Sowers is going to spend most of the year learning the new system. He's not really a good blocker, and he's going to need to refine that part of his game. He's going to be waiting for that opportunity. But, look at what happened to, Harold Fannin last year. He got an opportunity and an injury, something happens. Look at what's already going on. Makai Lemon and Devonta Smith are already a little bit banged up. So opportunity could roam around there. But, yeah, I'm certainly not buying him at the price he's at right this second. Like, I got him at tight end 14 or 15-ish right now. And that's kind of where he's going. But yeah, it's one of those ones where he's showed really good upside as a pass catcher, and he's going to have to be in that role. So I just don't see it with Philly right out of the gate.
No, definitely not right out of the gate. Dallas Goedert had to learn from his tight end one.
Totally. Zach Ertz.
Like his tight end one had to learn from his tight end one. Like I learned from my father, and he learned from his father. No, nothing. No Eastbound and Down references for you guys. All right.
Zach Ertz.
I appreciate
That's a name I've not heard in a long, long time.
My bad, guys. I
was a tight end knight, just like your father.
There it is.
I get it.
Father before you. Love it.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get Chev. You had a piece out right away, but you'll be back. So why don't you talk to us about your breakout tight end? That's not the one. There it is.
Yeah, wow. There we go. There he is. There's the man with the plan, with the stand. Whew. I'm not gonna lie. I could be a tripod right now talking about Tucker Kraft. So we got weeks 1 through 8. I mean, 5.3 targets a game. Nothing crazy. You know, George Kittle's the only tight end to go over 1,000 yards on less than 100 targets, and he's done it twice. Tucker Kraft was very clearly on the pathway to do that last year. And for me, it's just they've only clarified their intentions more. If you go back to when I first joined the show, I started talking about how Matt LaFleur was talking about the impact that Tucker Kraft and his physicality had on the offense, and they were going to find ways to get him involved and get him the ball. And they not only did that, but he exceeded expectations. 6 touchdowns in 7 full games. He got injured in about the second quarter of the Panthers game. And now he's made his way back robot style from this ACL tear. And he was number 1 in yards after the catch. That's his calling card. And if you go back to our episode that we did with Andrew Cooper, he talked about how tight ends either have to score a ton of touchdowns or they have to be able to generate big plays. And Tucker Kraft did both last year. And they've only fortified my opinion by removing Romeo Doubs and removing Dontavian Wicks with the curious case of Megan Fox thumbs. And so they paid Jaden Reed, they paid Christian Watson, and they're about to pay Tucker Kraft, and he's going to have to get paid in moon cheese and crackers in order to fulfill the void that this offense could have if he's no longer a part of it. So he is a difference maker. I saw that Jacob Gibbs, who is one of the best follows on Twitter, if you haven't, talked about he's this generation's Gronk. And the more that I think about it, I mean, he's not Gronk. Nobody's Gronk. No one is Gronk. But if he's 85% of Gronk, that's still a pretty damn good tight end and for sure a Hall of Fame player. So we've gotten the breakout. We've seen it. It's happened. It's going to happen. It's going to continue to happen. But it could be accompanied with more volume this time. And if that's the case, then this is probably going to be in contention for the tight end 1 or tight end 2. So I cede the floor to you, gentlemen.
So once again, Chev and I, we're cruising down the waterway in the
holding
same
hands
boat.
And everything. They're rowing the same boat with the hole. Love it.
So I shared in our group chat yesterday that I did my first auction draft. Chev had been talking about, hey, let's do an auction draft.
Yeah.
A bunch of us. So I got to my brother's house for my dad's birthday yesterday. My brother was like, what is this? And I was like, let's do an auction draft together. So we did. And in that draft, Trey McBride went for $41. Brock Bowers went for $35. A handful of other tight ends went for $5. And I got Tucker Kraft for $1.
God.
I feel like among my entire team, that is going to be the most incredible payout per penny on the entire squadron. I felt blessed. And I love me some Tucker Kraft. I like the fact that there's vacated targets in that Green Bay offense. Dontavian Wicks and Romeo Doubs are not there to be kicked around anymore. Christian Watson has a hard time staying on the field. Jaden Reed may not be the most reliable fellow. Matthew Golden has yet to emerge. The one guy in that receiving core that has established a level of talent that we can count on is Tucker Kraft. Absolutely big breakout year for Tucker Kraft this year. Pathway to tight end 1 is there. We'll see some positive touchdown regression. He had 6 in half a season last year. What if he gets to 12 or 15 touchdowns as a tight end? Are you kidding me? Let's do this thing.
I'm in unison with Tucker Kraft here. So I mean, there's nothing
we all have been for a couple years. It just last year he got hurt. That was we were high on him last year too.
I mean, I got him as high as tight end 5. Anybody got him higher than that?
Yeah, he's tight end 3 for me.
3 for you, Chev. Yeah.
That sounds like you're fading Colston Loveland then. Okay.
Yeah.
I hear you.
I said we drafted him at a ceiling. I 1,000% believe that we probably. I mean, He could. I mean, if he goes and if he's the focal point of the offense, if he's Travis Kelce 2.0, like everybody thinks he is, then yeah, I'll be wrong, and that's fine. But Tucker Kraft is also going to be incredible. So,
yeah, Like I'm not Jacob Gibbs, and I don't think that Tucker Kraft is Gronk, but I said a couple episodes ago, like I think he is the closest thing to George Kittle. And Chev, every week it seems like you are able to talk about Tucker Kraft, so you're gonna have to grab my email and just send me a newsletter to the fan club so I can be up to date on all this.
There you go. All right, Chev, you got to peace out for a bit, and we'll catch you in a little while. But yeah, thanks for the insight on Tucker Kraft. All right,
thanks
guys.
for having me, guys. I'll be back shortly.
Yeah, and your meat missile will be back with us. All right, so
my meat missile will be in the room even if I'm not here, just to make sure that there's no Tucker Kraft slander when I exit out of here.
Okay, so you're going to be listening. Perfect.
Yeah.
All right.
See you guys.
All right, I'm going to talk a little bit about Tyler Warren. I've been kind of flag planting him here and there all over the place this offseason. And if you're still treating him like just another second-year project, you're already behind the curve. The Colts didn't burn first-round draft capital on this product for polite participation. I think this 6'6", 256-pound monster, he's got the frame, the power, and the receiving skills, and he actually likes the contact as well. So I think the receiving room is getting a little bit of a hit here. They paid Alec Pierce, shipped off Michael Pittman, leaving a vacuum of targets for the tight end. And I think his skill set is built to fill the void. I think dynasty managers should be looking at him. He's in kind of the sweet spot right now, looming as like tight end 4. But I think this is the moment things really start managing for him. The confidence is there. You could see it. He's got great football IQ. The physical tools are obviously there. The only question is now is, like the situation around him. We got Daniel Jones coming back from that injury, but I think that's actually a good thing for, Tyler Warren this year. He's been fully cleared for the season opener, Daniel Jones, which means, that big body target is going to settle into those soft zones and give that recovering quarterback an easy outlet, and it's going to become priceless. I think they're going to have a really good relationship, and it's already handled that as a rookie, 19% ranked as a target share. Like, I like that as a rookie, 22% first read share. Music to my ears, and I think it's only going to go up with the vacated targets from Michael Pittman. Tight end 11 in fantasy points per game. He was already ranked as a tight end 1. I see this being great. Tight end 7, 13 points per game when Daniel Jones was healthy. Now another year ahead. Daniel Jones, that chemistry, I think this is going to be a really good situation here, guys. And give me some Tyler Warren. I love the tight ends this year, and I think they're priced well. And I think, if you get a top, if you get one of the first 9, I think you're going to be happy. So, yeah, love me some Tyler Warren.
I am so embarrassed right now. My brain switched up Colston Loveland and Tyler Warren when I was saying that I got Colston Loveland from you in a Devy trade. It was Tyler Warren that I got from you in the Devy trade. And I feel really dumb now. We love Tyler Warren. That's not even at issue. So, yeah, let's go. Big year.
Yeah, I think the versatility that Tyler Warren brings, the vacated targets, like you said, I think that's a big one. Tyler Warren showed in his rookie season that they could make Michael Pittman extendable. They didn't go and sign Alec Pierce to replace Michael Pittman. He is the deep target, the contested catch target. That's kind of his calling card. But you know what? Contested catches doesn't always translate to success rate. And I don't think if Alec Pierce is healthy and maybe he doesn't come down with all those 50-50 balls, that offense is really going to be in trouble. And Tyler Warren is going to be the player that moves the chains on opposite of Jonathan Taylor on the ground. Like I'm all in on Tyler Warren for this year.
Awesome. Okay, guys, if you rock FSAN, then Pro Plus is where you go all in. Head to FSAN.com, subscribe, get your Pro Plus membership, and get entered to the DNO Draft Night Out. Bigz, talk a little bit more about that. You did so great on our shows yesterday and the day before.
I mean, before I get into that, I have 2 Canadians as a captive audience. Have you seen this? Hellman's launches ketchup slices. Hellman's is now selling sliced ketchup. known west of the Mississippi as Best Foods. So, yeah, Ketchup for the Canadians. Anyway, Draft Night Out. We have launched the Draft Night Out, taken it over, and we're doing a bunch of online divisions this year. Draft Night Out has been a one-off at the Fantasy Football Expo, only available to people who were going to show up in Canton, Ohio on that weekend for the Fantasy Football Expo. Now, you don't have to go to the Fantasy Football Expo to join Draft Night Out. You can just do it online. Go to draftnightout.com, sign up. You get a free pro membership for a month with Fantasy Sports Advice Network, and you get entered into the division of your choice. Come compete with me in the Brian Bosworth division. The winner of each league gets a ring, a championship ring, and then entered into a contest that goes from after the playoffs, after the fantasy playoffs, through the Super Bowl, the actual Super Bowl, and one winner will take home a championship belt, a PlayStation 5, and Madden 27. So go ahead, pay the $22 entry fee. There's a $4 donation to charity that is attached to that. So 18 of it goes to the league and 4 goes to charity. Come see if you can beat us. We are waiting for you.
We have been waiting. Let's go. All right. Who's next up? I think it's Bigz. And Bigz, talk about your breakout for 2026.
So my breakout is Isaiah Likely, and this is based just on vibes. All right. I was digging in a little bit into what the New York Giants did last year with the tight end position. And there was quite a fair bit of tight end targeting. I like the fact that Isaiah Likely has kind of paid his dues. Entering his 26-year-old season, he's always flashed talent. In 2024, he had 6 touchdowns in very, very limited role. 58 targets. I think that was his best season. He can expand on that very well, especially entering a New York Giants offense that should be A, fairly high-powered, B, has a quarterback that can throw the ball deep, and three has another tight end that is going to be able to be in line and doing the blocking for him. Isaiah Likely is not really a blocking tight end. He's more of that big slot, get out, line up off the line of scrimmage, go into motion, things like that. That's how he cut his teeth in Baltimore. He's reunited with John Harbaugh. Obviously, if John Harbaugh went ahead and signed Isaiah Likely as a free agent, Harbaugh has a plan on what to do with Isaiah Likely. And I highly doubt that plan is to sit Isaiah Likely as a tight end 2 behind Theo Johnson. I'm pretty sure he understands what he has and the talent of Isaiah Likely, and Isaiah Likely is going to benefit from that. He's going behind some he's actually ranked in Dynasty pretty high, a lot higher than I would have expected. He's ahead of Jake Ferguson. Mike can probably agree with that one. He's ahead of Aronde Gadsden. I absolutely agree with that one. He's also behind Eli Sowers, Kenyon Sadiq, and George Kittle, and I will be drafting Isaiah Likely before I draft any of those 3 players. So he's absolutely a breakout candidate for me, and I'm taking as many shares as I can get.
Maddog?
My biggest question here is Matt Nagy and Jackson Dart's relationship with Theo Johnson. Theo Johnson did have north of 70 targets last year and finished with 5 touchdowns. Now, I know that was without Malik Neighbors. They went and made sure they got Isaiah Likely onto this Giants team. So I understand where Bigz is coming from. I am a fan from that, but I just have some overall questions of how Matt Nagy is going to run this offense.
Yeah,
Matt Nagy is a concern.
Yeah,
that's true. But if there's anybody who can get in Matt Nagy's ear and go, dude, what are you doing? It's John Harbaugh.
Or Cam Scatabo or Jackson.
Scatabo's just going to headbutt him. Be like, get the ball to Isaiah.
I think this is going to be an interesting dynamic with these 2 older coaches and the youth movement they have here in New York, and some of the personalities in Jackson Dart and Cam Scatabo. I think this is going to be an interesting way of how they're going to be able to rein these guys in, and we'll see what happens here in New York. But Bigz has called them to be a Super Bowl champion in the next 4 years, so hefty words. So we'll see what happens there.
Young,
He's
explosive offensive pieces and a really stout defense. Their line scares me watching it on
Mhm.
TV.
totally, yeah. I mean, their defense is good. I'm worried about Nagy. That's all. All right, Dalton Kincaid, talk to us about him.
Yeah, Dalton Kincaid seems like, for the most part, he's going to be out of Joe Brady prison. Maybe he's out of the PCL trauma center. Reports of the Bills camp is saying that he's bulked up and he's healthy. Now, I know that not every report deserves action, but every report does deserve evaluation. I've had my priors on Dalton Kincaid, and I will die on this hill. I think Dalton Kincaid can ball. I love his route running, his athleticism, and his ability to use his size. Can this be the year where we finally see Dalton Kincaid get a better percentage of route shares? I think it can be. He only eclipsed over 50% snap share 3 times, including the playoffs, but had 5 top 10 finishes last year. Making this guy closer to a full-time player, he's going to be the best weapon on that Bills team. And I say that even with the acquisition of DJ Moore. I think he's in a tier of tight ends where we're shooting for tight end or touchdown dependence anyway. And I think Dalton Kincaid is so much more than that. That's why he is my breakout this year.
I mean, for me, I think, yeah, this is a situation here where it's now or never. I think for him, I think I'm really hoping for this. You know, it's not. I'm not fully buying in just yet. The talent and the efficiency obviously is undeniable. When he's on the field, he does produce, you know, elite yards per route run numbers, and it looks like, you know, a true mismatch weapon for Josh Allen. The problem is the same one we've seen for 2 straight years: availability, that hamstring, the PCL, soft tissue issues have limited his snaps. But also, you know, like, he doesn't play a full snap share either. You know, they got Dawson Knox obviously playing a little bit there. So I'm hoping to see him in the lineup a little bit more. So that would be my concern there, Maddog. But yeah, I think that, you know, with DJ Moore there, it looks like, you know, he's gonna have a decent year for them. Like, I mean, it looks like there's some obviously some connection in camp there with them, but interesting to see how that'll play out. And I think Dalton Kincaid, if they have a certain number one that can, you know, take some pressure off and he can play the full route tree, he could play the full amount of snaps. Yeah, like, I think this could be the year for him. Biggs, anything to add to that? Do you like Kincaid's situation this year?
Yeah, I'm bullish on Dalton Kincaid. I think a big thing working in Buffalo's favor is the fact that they added DJ Moore, who's going to get eyes on him, and kind of he's basically the best Bills wide receiver since they had Stephon Diggs. That's going to open things up a little bit for Josh Allen, and I think that's going to help Dalton Kincaid a little bit too. If the defense that they're playing against perceives DJ Moore to be a weapon that they have to concentrate on, rather than just kind of dismissing Keon Coleman more, or not actually, like, Khalil Shakir is a good wide receiver and I like him a lot, but he's not DJ Moore. And if you can focus on him, you don't have to focus on anybody else. Now they have to focus on both of them. They got Shakir in the slot, they got DJ Moore on the outside, and that opens things up for Dalton Kincaid a little bit.
Love it, guys. I think, yeah, there was some good debate in this show, some good camaraderie, and yeah, we gave our insights here. And I think there's some tight ends that if we got anything out of this year is, like, I think the tight end position is here to stay, and there's going to be some value wherever we find it here. So yeah, keep it up, guys. And Biggs, take us home like you always do. First of 3.
Everybody, like and subscribe, hit the bell, all that things, and go to fantasysportsadvice.com. Go to the merch store. Get on Sellout Crowds. It's a pretty cool app. It's social media that's sports only, and I think you're going to like it. Get involved in the groups. You basically figure out what kind of discussions you want to be in and what kind of discussions you don't want to be in. You want to talk about the Raiders? You can just talk about the Raiders. You want to talk about fantasy in general? You can do that. You want to talk about nothing but baseball? You can do that. It's very it's what do they call it? It's bespoke. It's a cafeteria style social media platform where you can pick and choose the dishes that you want to eat, and put sliced ketchup on all of them.
Sliced ketchup. And I don't know if you have this in the United States. You probably did for like 10 years ago, but it's coming out now in like a 4-pack of your ketchup, your mustard, your relish, and then your pickled flavored ketchup. Perfect for a hot dog.
We have pickle ketchup, but not the 4-pack. The Heinz 3-pack is just relish, mustard, and ketchup.
Yeah.
And as every week, you guys, Fantasy Sports Advice Network, we help you win.
We help you win. Peace out, everybody. We'll see you next week. Later.